Just 1 minute ago, King Charles officially ended Sadiq Khan's political career. 6 words from Donald Trump at the UN, 1 statement from Buckingham Palace, and now London's mayor is fighting to survive. This isn't politics, as usual. It's a total collapse unfolding live. Here's what happened. Last week, Trump stood before 193 nations and declared, "London has a terrible, terrible mayor." The entire hall froze. Cameras stopped rolling. Every diplomat in the room knew something huge had just dropped. But what followed caught everyone off guard. King Charles shattered royal protocol. For the first time in decades, the monarchy stepped into the political arena, and he didn't hold back. In a public address, Charles spoke about growing safety concerns in London. He never said Khan's name. He didn't have to. Everyone in Britain knew exactly who he meant. The timing, coming just days after Trump's remarks, made the message unmistakable. Parliament went into chaos. Labour MPs sat in shock. Conservatives tried, and failed, to hide their grins. The media went into overdrive. Was the king siding with Trump? Had the crown just broken its sacred rule of neutrality? Or was it something deeper? The monarch voicing what millions of Londoners already felt? Khan's team went into full panic mode, but nothing could stop the storm. No tweet could fix it. No interview could reverse it. The image was already burned into the nation's mind. Britain's own king appearing to back Trump's criticism of London's mayor. Within minutes, social media ignited. Hashtags like #CharlesBacksTrump and #KhanHumiliated exploded before Khan even reacted. But the real blow? These weren't bots or trolls. These were ordinary Londoners saying, "When even the king speaks up, you know something's wrong." The Daily Mail screamed, "Royal shockwave, Charles echoes Trump." The Telegraph read, "Monarch sides with Trump. Khan cornered." Even the cautious BBC couldn't stay silent. King Charles raises concerns over London's leadership. That final word, leadership, hit hardest. Because that's exactly what Londoners feel they've lost. Knife crime up 15%, violent robberies up 22%, tourism falling. The stats speak for themselves. Trump called them out, and now the king had nodded to them, while Khan still had no answers. Behind the scenes, Labour was imploding. Keir Starmer, already struggling to hold his party together, wanted no part of this catastrophe. He dodged the issue 3 times in Parliament. When your own leader won't defend you, it's over. And Khan could sense the walls closing in. His response only dug the hole deeper. Instead of tackling crime rates, he went after Trump. He hinted the king had been misinformed. He blamed right-wing media. Classic deflection. Classic error. Because here's the truth. The facts weren't going anywhere. How do you even dodge your own king? By midday, clips of Khan's fiery outburst were playing side by side with King Charles's calm, measured remarks. The contrast was devastating. On one screen, an angry, defensive mayor. On the other, a composed monarch speaking about public safety. So, who did the British people believe? The answer wasn't even close. Then came the numbers. A new YouGov poll revealed something shocking. 44% of Londoners agreed with King Charles's statement. But here's the real hit. 29% of Khan's own supporters said they trusted Charles and Trump more than their own mayor. When a third of your base turns on you, the game's over. 3 Labour MPs even went public, warning that Khan needed to stop feuding with Trump and start tackling crime. Translation? Even his allies could see he was sinking. Inside Westminster, the whispers changed tone. It wasn't about whether Khan mishandled the Trump clash anymore. It was whether his entire career was collapsing. Then Friday morning landed another blow. The Royal Foundation released a report on youth safety in urban Britain. The timing? Disastrous for Khan. The report spotlighted growing fears among London families about violence, gang culture, and the phrase that hit hardest, a lack of trust in city leadership. Read that again. Lack of trust in city leadership. It was a direct hit at City Hall. And because it came from the monarchy, the message was unmistakable. King Charles wasn't backing down, he was doubling down. Social media completely flipped. The hashtag #ConOut started trending. Not from politicians, but from ordinary Londoners. One mother from Hackney tweeted, "When both Trump and King Charles say London's unsafe, maybe it's time we stopped laughing it off and started demanding answers." That post hit 250,000 likes. That wasn't propaganda. It was raw frustration from the very people Khan needed most. For years, Khan's playbook worked: mock Trump, dismiss criticism, attack the messenger. But now those same tactics looked outdated and hollow compared to the gravity of the king's words. What once seemed confident now came off as desperate. Instead of looking strong, Khan looked small. Instead of defending his record, he looked exposed. And instead of silencing Trump, he handed him something far more valuable: legitimacy. By Saturday, the political tremor had become a full-scale collapse. Khan's approval rating plunged 7 points in just 4 days. Public confidence in London's safety hit a record low. These weren't minor setbacks, they were career-ending numbers. Then came Sunday morning. Khan appeared on the BBC's flagship politics show, clearly desperate to regain control. The host asked one simple question: "Putting President Trump and King Charles aside, are you satisfied with London's crime rates?" For 4 painful minutes, Khan dodged. He mentioned Trump 11 times, Charles 3 times, but never gave a single straight answer about London's safety. The clip went viral instantly, millions of views. And the verdict was unanimous. Khan looked weak, evasive, and completely disconnected. Even Owen Jones, one of Labour's loudest voices defending Khan, admitted in his column, "The mayor needs to stop making this about Trump and start focusing on London's real issues. Trump won't be president forever, but these crime numbers will haunt Khan into the next election." When even your allies tell you to stop talking and start doing, you know the walls are closing in. Conservatives could smell blood in the air. For months, they'd been careful not to align too closely with Trump, but now they didn't need to. They had something far more powerful: the king's own words. Tory MPs flooded the media with a new attack line: "If Labour can't handle tough questions from Washington or Buckingham Palace, how can they handle tough decisions in Westminster?" It landed like a hammer blow. Behind the scenes, Labour headquarters was in full-blown panic. Senior advisors pleaded with Keir Starmer to distance himself from Khan. Starmer refused to defend him in public. That silence said everything. In politics, once people start seeing you as dead weight, the knives come out fast. But the most devastating hit didn't come from Parliament. It came from the streets. Londoners themselves began organizing. The hashtag #ConOut movement wasn't just trending anymore. It was bringing together people who had never stood on the same side before. Young professionals in Shoreditch, single mothers in Hackney, retirees in Croydon, even ethnic minority voters, Khan's most loyal base, all saying the same thing: enough is enough. One viral post from a London nurse captured the public mood perfectly. "I voted for Khan twice. But if the king can see the problem, if Trump can see the problem, and my own neighbors can see the problem, why can't he?" By Monday morning, the crisis had reached the point of no return. The headlines had shifted. They weren't about Trump anymore. They weren't about Charles. They were about Khan. The Telegraph, Khan's leadership in question. The Daily Mail, London deserves better. Even The Guardian conceded, mayor faces crisis of confidence. 3 different papers. 3 different ideologies. One brutal conclusion: Khan was finished. Then came the final blow. The London Assembly, Khan's own governing body, released its quarterly safety report. The findings were devastating. Public confidence in London's safety had collapsed. 67% of Londoners said they now avoid certain areas after dark. Tourism in central London was down 8% year-on-year. Small businesses in high-crime neighborhoods reported customers staying away. These weren't opinions, they were hard facts. By Tuesday afternoon, King Charles delivered a second, precisely timed statement during a visit to a youth center in East London. Speaking to young people, he said, "Every citizen deserves to feel safe in their community. Leadership isn't about ignoring concerns, it's about listening and acting." He didn't say Khan's name. He didn't have to. The message was clear as daylight. The king had doubled down. Cameras captured applause from the audience, smiles from parents, and nods from community leaders. It was the exact image Khan had feared. Charles stepping forward as the nation's voice of moral authority, while Khan stood exposed. By Wednesday, the chaos had spread beyond London. National newspapers were now talking about Labour's Khan problem, warning that his implosion could damage the party across the entire UK. The Conservatives pounced, framing Khan's downfall as proof Labour couldn't be trusted with national power. Their attack line was sharp, simple, and deadly effective. If Labour can't even keep London safe, how can they keep Britain safe? The line stuck. It resonated. It was lethal. Social media poured gasoline on the fire. #ConFinished trended worldwide, driven not by bots or trolls, but by real people sharing stories of crime, fear, and frustration. One viral TikTok captured it perfectly. Side-by-side clips of Trump calling Khan a terrible mayor, Khan laughing it off, King Charles raising concerns about leadership, Khan getting defensive, and the London Assembly flashing damning crime stats, while Khan still dodged the issue. The message couldn't have been clearer. While Khan fought personalities, London was paying the price. Morning talk shows dropped the old questions. No one cared anymore whether Khan handled Trump correctly or if Charles broke royal protocol. The conversation had shifted to something much harsher. Is Sadiq Khan even fit to lead London? The answers, from callers across the country, were brutally one-sided. Parents worried about their kids. Shopkeepers described daylight robberies. Tourists warned friends not to visit after dark. These weren't talking points. They were real lives, real fears, real failures. Inside Labour, panic turned to self-preservation. MPs, terrified of being dragged down with him, began leaking to the press. One insider told The Telegraph, "We warned him to focus on crime. He didn't listen. Now he's finished." Another Labour councillor was even blunter. Trump didn't destroy Khan. Khan destroyed himself. The media devoured it. Every headline, every panel, every op-ed hammered the same truth. Khan wasn't a leader anymore. He was dead weight. And in politics, dead weight doesn't last long. But here's what this whole collapse really shows. When a sitting US president calls you out on the world stage, and your own king seems to agree, you're not just losing a debate, you're losing legitimacy. And once legitimacy is gone, everything else unravels. The polls, the media support, the party loyalty, the public trust. Khan's downfall wasn't just about ignoring crime stats. It was about arrogance, believing he could attack the messenger instead of fixing the message. For years, he mocked Trump, brushed off criticism, and hid behind clever one-liners. For a while, it worked. But the moment the king spoke, that whole strategy crumbled overnight. Because you can't mock your way out of a crisis. You can't deflect your way out of record crime rates. And you can't spin your way out of 67% of your own city avoiding the streets after dark. This isn't about left or right. It isn't about Trump or Charles. It's about accountability, about leadership, about whether elected officials actually listen to the people they serve or just fight endless battles for ego. And right now, Londoners have made their verdict crystal clear. So, here's the question. Can Sadiq Khan survive this? Or is his political career already over? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more real breakdowns of what's actually happening behind the headlines in British politics, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications.